Right, you lot. It's Aston Villa. It's a European semi-final, first leg at Villa Park, Thursday night under the lights. Aston Villa versus Olympiacos. Let's talk Villa. So, as you guys saw in the intro, as you can see in the title, Aston Villa welcome Olympiacos to Villa Park for the semi-final first leg of the Europa Conference League. Olympiacos have been a good team this year, but probability-wise, they are percentage the lowest in terms of probability to win. So technically an easy game, technically a winnable game, but we know there's no such thing as an easy European semi-final. So we need to go into this all guns blazing. Our squad's been hit by injury. Emi Martinez and Yuri Tielemans both will not play in this game due to injury. No news as of yet on Alex Moreno being back, so that's going to influence the starting lineup, which will ping up here. I'm going to go Joe Gauci in goal. I understand Robin Olsen's probably going to start, but when I've done my video on Joe Gauci, which I'll link in the description down below, and I watched compilations of him, I watched highlights of him, I watched plenty of A-League highlights, the kid has a bit about him, and you know what? I want to see him get given a chance. So big up yourself, Joe. Let's get you in there, but it's probably going to be Robin Olsen, let's be fair. Luca Digne, left back, like I say, no news on Alex Moreno as of yet. I've gone for a different centre-back partnership. Like I say, Olympiacos, a game that really, let's be fair, Villa should expect to win. Our players in the Premier League look so leggy at the moment. I assume there could be even more rotation than I've put in here. But I've gone for Clement Longley, hasn't started in a few weeks, to come back in to give Pau Torres a rest. And then Matty Cash gets a rest as Ezri Konsa moves out to the right and Diego Carlos comes in at centre-back. Morgan Rogers keeps his spot at left mid purely because I don't know if Timo Rogbanen will get thrown in from the start. So we have Douglas Luiz and John McGinn. Obviously Yuri Tielemans now out with an injury, holding it down in midfield. Diaby on the right, I would not want to risk Bailey. He's got his knees strapped up. We need him for our Champions League push in the Premier League. Let's give him a rest and go Ollie Watkins and John Duran up front. That is more than enough firepower to take an advantage back to Greece next week. A little bit about Olympiacos, as you can see on the screen. Their league works a bit differently. So in their actual league, which is done, by the way, they finished third. There are only 14 teams in the Greek Super League. So they finished first behind PAOK and AEK Athens. They're in now like the championship section, as you can see there, where they currently sit fourth. So they've actually lost a position to Panthika. I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that. They're fourth. Let's just put it that way. In terms of their most recent result, it was a 4-1 win, and they started like this, 4-3-3 attacking. You might recognise one or two of their players, the main one being Pondence, who I think they've got on loan from Wolves. He started on the left and actually got a goal. Navarro up front got a goal, and Chiquinto in midfield as well got on the score sheet. Their top goal scorer was actually on the bench. I think it's Ayoub El Kabri. I think he has 15 goals for them this season, so he could be a danger man to look out for. They've also got Hal Carvalho on the bench as well, and Gleeson Martins, some names that you may remember from sort of bigger leagues in and around Europe. And that is effectively the preview in terms of us and them. But what do I think is going to happen? Look, we've looked leggy. There's no doubt about that. We've had some shaky performances at home where we've let leads slip. But ultimately, we are Aston Villa. We've got Unai Emery, one of the best managers in the world right now, I believe, for what he's done for Villa this season. We still have Ollie Watkins, who's one of the Premier League players of the season. We have Diaby, who we signed for 40 plus million. Bailey on the bench for me. John Duran, who's got a very bright future in the sport. Ezri Konsa, one of the best one-on-one defenders in the league this season. And they're fourth in their little championship playoff league. They finished third in their league. The Greek Super League and the Premier League should not be comparable, in my humble opinion. The first leg being at Villa Park gives us a chance to do what we couldn't do against Lille and put this game to bed in front of all the Villa fans. And by doing that, we need to be aggressive from the start, and we really need to get into them. I really do believe we need to get into them. Greece is going to be an absolute cauldron. If we thought Lille was bad, going over to their stadium in Greece is going to be something else for these players. And when you're leggy, you've come off a game against Brighton, and then you're going into that game. You've got the Premier League to think about as well. You've got the final, the pressure, it all on your shoulders. We need to kill this game, in my opinion, in the first leg. We need to come out, be aggressive, attack, and put it absolute to bed. No room for error in this home fixture to get to the final in Athens, funnily enough, at the end of May, I believe it is. And for that reason, I think Emery's going to know this. I understand he might want to manage the fixture over 2 legs, sit back a bit, maybe try and hit them on the counter. But Villa Park needs to be as much of a cauldron as they will make their stadium next week. And we need to be on top of those players. In terms of the Olympiacos players, we need to be on top of them from the moment that first whistle goes to the moment the full-time whistle goes. And that will G the boys up to get the result. And I think we will get the result. I genuinely have a feeling that just like we've done to Ajax, we are going to bad these lot up 4-0. So that by the time we get to their stadium, they're going to be so deflated from the first leg that then we can manage that game. We can cruise through that game. I'm going to go for an Ollie Watkins hat-trick, his first in Europe, I believe. Anyway, I don't think he got a hat-trick in the qualifiers. He might have actually. I might fact check me on that in the comments below. And Moussa Diaby to get a goal as well. And I think we're going to get to the final. I don't know what's going to happen in the final. I don't know who we're going to play in the final. I'll be keeping an eye on the other fixture, of course. But Olympiacos, we really should be getting through. I understand we've got a lot on with the Champions League push, but this is what it happens to a team when they're in Europe. We need all the revenue we can get because of this new wage cap thing that's just being voted on today in the Premier League, which I think's been passed. So we need to put all our eggs in every basket there is, and I believe. Up the Villa. Comment your predictions down below. Comment what you think about this game. Any Olympiacos fans, comment what you know about your team. Obviously I haven't watched them, I don't watch the Super League, I'm not going to profess to, but yeah, winnable game. I think Emery knows what he's doing. I think the players know what they've got to do. We've got to kill this fixture at Villa Park. The Lions awake, and it's coming for European gold.